Hello gamers, welcome to Game Recap. In this video, I will discuss the storyline of the game The Convenience Store. A Japanese horror game developed and published by Chilla's Art and was released for Microsoft Windows on the 17th of February 2020. This game takes the point of view of a college girl who works part-time night shifts at a convenience store. Okay, without further ado, I will immediately discuss the storyline of the Convenience Store game. At the beginning of the game, we are shown a girl, the main protagonist who I will call the girl. That night, the girl had just woken up from her sleep at exactly 11:35 p.m. Just like the previous days, the girl prepares herself with a simple dinner, wears her work uniform, and brings a flashlight that will illuminate all the way to her workplace, the convenience store. However, before entering the store to start work, the girl meets a man sitting casually beside the store, where the man claims that he was sent by someone to warn of the impending Judgment Day. In addition, the man also asked the girl to give him food if she did not want to get eternal punishment. Hearing the threat, the girl complied. The girl took some expired food that should have been thrown away and gave it to the man. However, we have the choice to provide the man with food or ignore his request. After that, the girl entered the store and met the manager, who told her that someone had just fallen from the bridge that the girl always crossed on her way to the convenience store. An old woman also told of how she saw a terrible man walking with his legs bent upside down. The girl tried not to think too much about what the manager said, then took her usual working time to start her night shift alone in the store. At first, everything seemed normal. The girl threw the expired food into the trash and served the customers who came. But then, when the girl checked the CCTV camera and saw the convenience store door open by itself. When the girl checked outside the store, she found no one there. This incident then made the girl think that there might be a problem with the sensor on the door. She immediately made a report about the incident. Not long after, a courier brought a box of packages destined for the girl, saying that the package was an exclusive shipment that was only sent to stores that were open until late at night. Without asking the contents first, the girl accepted the package and took it home. The following night, before leaving for work, the girl opened the package, where she found a VHS tape, and when she played it, the tape showed someone recording the store where the girl worked from the back. The place was covered by a police line. When they finally arrived at the convenience store and met the manager, the girl was informed that the report on the door sensor had been received. Upon further inspection, it turned out that there were indeed some loose wires causing a slight problem with the door sensor. The girl immediately felt relieved after knowing that the incident had nothing to do with the supernatural and started working the night shift as usual. This time, according to the task given by her manager, the girl took rat spray and cleaned the area around the store from the rats. After that, she served the customers who came that night as usual. The girl then approached an old woman who seemed to be sitting quietly in one corner of the store and looked at her blankly. When the girl tries to talk to her, the old woman asks where a boy named Ken is and suddenly becomes furious, claiming that the store used to be a house belonging to her daughter. After saying that, the old woman then left the store just like that. Even though the sensor problem on the store door has been handled, the door opened by itself like what happened the previous night. Through the CCTV camera, once again, the store door opened by itself, but this time something was different. A boy was seen standing near the door. When the girl aimed the CCTV camera to get a clearer image, suddenly the boy ran away from the store. In the end, the long and tiring night for the girl was over and she returned home. The next night, just as the girl was about to leave for work, there was a knock on the front door. But strangely, when the door was opened, the girl found no one there, except for a package that was suddenly at the door. The girl then took the package and opened it, where for the second time, she found a VHS tape again. The second VHS tape shows a person near the warning line at the back of the store. Under the pouring rain that night, she then traveled to work using her umbrella. Unlike usual, the girl did not find the manager at the checkout counter this time. Feeling panicked, she then looked for the manager's whereabouts, until she was finally surprised by the man while in the operational office. Seeing the girl's unhappy expression mixed with panic, the manager then apologized and promised not to repeat his actions. After taking a hiatus, the girl then started her work by restocking some products in the store window. After that, she met a man named Hamada. Hamada is the person who has been sent by the store owner to check the air temperature controller in the store so that the food they sell remains fresh. While doing her administrative duties, the girl then watched through the CCTV camera, and unexpectedly, right behind the store, a warning line appeared that had been removed. Without thinking, the girl immediately rushed to the back of the store, opened the air conditioner using a wrench that had fallen from Hamada's pocket, and got a key. She then goes through the warning line and finds a locked room there, and the key she just got can open the door of the room. However, just as she was about to enter, she felt something holding her hand as if trying to stop her. At the same time, a female customer entered the store and left the girl no other choice but to go back into the store to serve her. Not long after, the girl went into the toilet to check the closet cover, which suddenly opened and closed by itself. Unfortunately, when she was in the toilet door suddenly shut and could not be opened at all, even though the girl was only stuck in the toilet for a few seconds. But when she managed to open the door and get out of there, it was seen that some things had been scattered on the floor. Feeling scared, she then checked the CCTV camera to find out what really happened. But she was surprised by the appearance of a female ghost caught on the CCTV camera. Right at the place where the female ghost appeared, there were several talismans. The girl then takes the talisman through the warning line at the back of the store and then attaches it to the door of the room there, driving out the evil entity inhabiting the place. When the girl entered it, she found the manager dead and missing both of his eyes to her surprise. Not only that, there are also dead rats, some VHS tapes, a broken oven and a television showing the number 4 in the room. For your information, the number 4 in Japanese is kolshi, which can also be interpreted as death. So many Japanese people think that the number 4 is an unlucky number that can bring disaster. After that, the girl heard banging on the door coming from all directions, and somehow, the manager's face slowly turned to her. When she wakes up the next night, the girl thinks that everything that happened last night was just a bad dream. The girl then obtained a VHS tape showing the small room where the manager was found dead. That night, while at work, the lights in the store suddenly went out. When checking the situation through CCTV, a boy walked leisurely towards the storage room. The girl then followed the boy there and saw the boy making a disturbing noise in the corner of the room. Before she could do anything, a female ghost appeared and made her lose consciousness. After waking up in the same place and the lighting in the store was back to normal, the girl again got a VHS tape and took it home. Okay, we come to the ending round, where there are 2 endings that we can get, depending on what we are going to do next. A bad ending will happen if we choose to watch the VHS tape or throw it in the trash. This last VHS tape shows the girl fast asleep in her room, which indicates that someone recorded her while she was sleeping. As a result of watching or disposing of the VHS tape, the girl ends up unable to move her body when she wakes up during the night. A female ghost then came to her and killed her. While the good ending will occur if we choose to send the VHS tape back to the sender, all the strange things that happened to the girl while working will also be revealed. After sending back the VHS tape, the girl immediately calmed down and revealed that everything that had happened in the store had been scaring her all night. But no matter what, the curiosity that was in her still kept popping up, whether what she had seen so far was real or just a hallucination. Therefore, the girl then conducted further investigations about the convenience store where she worked the night shift by searching for information on the internet. Some old articles and forums say that back in 2009, to be precise, the place where the convenience store was located was actually a house occupied by a family consisting of a father, a pregnant mother and a child. However, on September 14, 2009, the father suddenly killed his own son using a kitchen knife. The mother, who had just returned from shopping, was also brutally murdered. The man didn't even care that his wife was pregnant with his second child. After brutally massacring his own family, the man later committed suicide. After the incident, one of the father's co-workers testified that the man was often harassed by his boss during his work, likely making him mentally unstable, and anger was constantly bubbling up inside him. After reading all the truth, the girl decided to tell all the terrible things that happened to her manager. However, the manager never answered her calls, no matter how she tried to contact him. Not long after, the store owner contacted the girl to inform them of a funeral parlor, where the manager was found dead in a room located at the back of the store. Hearing this, the girl suddenly felt very surprised and realized that everything she saw the night before had really happened. Since then, the girl decided to resign from her job. Whenever she walked past the front of the store, she always felt that something was glaring at her. In the end, due to poor management, the convenience store was closed. However, one day, the girl heard the sound of a child on the street near the store, and when she turned to the source of the sound, she saw a mysterious woman there. Okay, based on the explanation of the good ending, we know that an old woman who asked the whereabouts of a child named Ken and claimed that the store was once a house belonging to her daughter was none other than the pregnant woman who was murdered by her own husband. And possibly, the female ghost figure seen by the girl is a pregnant woman who was killed by her husband. The little boy who walks leisurely and often opens the store door is Ken, the son who was killed by his own father and the grandson of the old woman. The restless spirits of pregnant women and young children continue to wander in the same place, even though their house has been renovated into a convenience store. Anyone who is in the store will be disturbed by various apparitions and horrific events, just like what happened to the girl. They will also be given a package in the form of a VHS tape, which is indirectly very life-threatening, because if they are watched to the end or thrown away, a ghost will attack them. The manager's death was due to none other than the same thing, as evidenced by how the whole room was filled with various VHS tapes, which indicated that the manager watched all the VHS tapes he got, which caused him to end up dead in a state of losing both his eyeballs. The girl will also end up like that if you watch all the VHS tapes, as happened in the bad ending. Meanwhile, the fate of the man sitting next to the store at the start of the game is unknown, whether we decide to give him food or just ignore him. Okay, so that's the whole storyline of the convenience store game that I can describe here, including an explanation of the two endings, namely the bad ending and the good ending. Although some things remain unanswered, such as the story told by the manager about the person who fell on the bridge and also the story of an old woman about the terrible man who walked with both legs bent upside down. If you have other opinions and theories about this game, please write them in the comments column, and thank you for watching.